Hi guys, Lewis here, and welcome to this week's edition of Piranha Bites. Since we missed last week's as well, this is kind of a bumper episode because there's 2 weeks worth of stuff to catch up on. So let's get right to it. Ryger's First of Vengeance, issue 1. Rick Remender, so needless to say, I've been looking forward to this for months, ever since I knew it existed really. And the main character is basically Benedict Wong, so don't be surprised if you see this on TV or film in the next couple of years. And basically, this issue doesn't really tell us much. All that happens really is the main character goes to either a friend or acquaintance's house and finds them dead and stabbed up, and then develops a righteous thirst for vengeance. That's all we know so far, so it's a bit of a slow first issue, but I trust Remender. He's done my 2 favourite Image books, Deadly Class and Fear Agent, and he's proven himself on countless other things like Black Science, Death or Glory, 7 to Eternity, and then that's just his indie stuff. You look over at Marvel, Uncanny X-Force is one of my favourite Marvel runs, so excited to see where this goes, even if the first issue didn't really give us too much. Next up, over at Marvel, Amazing Spider-Man issue 75. This marks a new starting point for the first time really since 2018. That's all been Nick Spencer's run. That was pretty cool. But I just don't like Spider-Man being tied up for so long because I want to read some, just like everyone else. And it was really cool. It explains everything you need to know really. I don't want to go into too much in case I spoil it for anyone. But the cool bits is what happens with Ben Reilly, because he's ostensibly sold the Spider-Man name to a corporation, and then he's getting sponsored and funded by them. So he's almost like a midpoint between Batman and Spider-Man, because he's got all the gadgetry, and he's like, oh, don't you have this? And Peter's like, no, I have spandex and get beaten to hell every week. So a bit of jealousy there, and it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. So yeah, if you were already on Spider-Man, by all means, there's no reason to jump off. And if you weren't, there's all the reason to jump on. Thing I've been most looking forward to, probably out of both weeks' releases, May's book issue 2. I always go on about Tom Taylor on here. Another one, Jeff Lemire. I would say either of those two are the best writer in current comics. Gun to my head, I'd probably go Lemire just because he's of the quantity as well as the quantity of what he's doing, and he does his thing where he tugs at your heartstrings, but because he's done it so many times, I'm not even sure it's a tug anymore. It's a stranglehold. But it was really good. Just more of the same from last issue in terms of the main character, the dad, finding out what's going on with his daughter. What's interesting though is in this he's doing his whole kind of emotional, insular, introverted kind of books, like your Essex County, Royal City, things like that. But he's also adding a kind of mystical, supernatural element, which gives me a bit of a Gideon Falls feel. Not in the horror sense, but in the kind of mystery to be unravelled sense. So yeah, it's really good. One of my favourite things on the shelf. So by all means, check it out. And if you missed it, try and get issue 1, because like I said, one of the best things on the shelves. And Lemire brings me to my golden oldie and from the vault picks, which I guess I've just decided it's Lemire week because I'm going for a couple because we've got 2 weeks worth. So Descender, awesome sci-fi, one of the best sci-fi things I've read in comics, and also the series after Ascender as well. Dustin Nguyen kills it on the art on this. I never really was a huge fan of his until reading this, so definitely check that out. And also, just mentioned it a second ago, Gideon Falls, quality horror title, and all the time it was coming out in issues was one of the best things on the shelves. And also, now that it's finished, you can just collect it in 6 trades. It's really easy to go through. And yeah, Jeff Lemire doing what he does best. Top quality comics. And Andrea Sorrentino as well. This is where I started really paying attention to his art. It's why I picked up the Batman Imposter, which I'm going to go through in a minute actually, just for his art. I think he's one of the best artists in comics right now. So yeah, that was a wicked creative team on that. And then for last week's stuff, we'll go through Arkham City issue 1 by Dan Waters and illustrated by Danny. Doesn't have a surname for some reason. Either way, yeah, this team was behind Coffin Bound over at Image a couple of years back, which was really cool. So I'll be really interested to see what they can do with Batman. One of my favourite characters, so as long as he's in capable hands, I'm always excited. What I just mentioned a second ago, Batman the Imposter. Yeah, I've not heard of the writer, Tomlin, but Andrea Sorrentino's on the art. So I'm always, I say this almost every time I do one of these, I'm always willing to give new guys a chance. And Sorrentino's the pull for me there. Tom Taylor over at Marvel doing Dark Ages. Not had a chance to get to this yet, but I was really impressed with issue 1. I'm impressed with everything he does. I think you guys know this by now. So yeah, pick up anything with his name on. In fact, I'm about to reread DC, so if you guys haven't checked that out, definitely go for that. Deadpool Black, White and Blood issue 3, next on the list. I always like these little things because you get a myriad of creative teams, which means that it's almost guaranteed to be something good there. Even if you're not a fan of everything in there or you're not a fan of the character, there will be something. Like the one that really impressed me recently, I've said before, Superman Red and Blue. That was awesome. These kind of anthology books I really like. Alright, so then for this week's stuff, Batman Catwoman issue 8. I've not been keeping up with this. I think I said last time when these come out, I'll wait till it's all finished just because I feel that's how Tom King maxi series read best. Take Vision, for example, and stuff like that. But I'm a huge fan of his Batman run when he was doing the Rebirth stuff for the 85 issues, so I'm definitely keen to see how his epilogue turns out. Legends Black Panther issue 1. I mean, for some strange reason, he doesn't have a ongoing at the moment. So if you want a Black Panther fix, there it is. This one looks really interesting as well. I'm intrigued. Catwoman Lonely City. And then the only name on the front is Cliff Chang, so he's writing and drawing it. His art definitely suits Catwoman, almost in that kind of Darwin Cook school. But I have no idea what he's like as a writer. So, great time to find out. I've picked this up, I just need to read it. Stop being lazy when I'm on those trains. Death of Doctor Strange, issue 2. First one was really good. I think you guys know what Jed McKay can do by now, because he's killing it on Moon Knight. So yeah, by all means check this out if you want more of what he's capable of, because issue 1 was a lot of fun. Harley Quinn, animated series, The Eat, Bang, Kill Tour, issue 2. Yeah, not much more to say to that. If you enjoyed the cartoon that's been coming out recently, or last year or two, I guess, it's in that universe, it's spinning off that. So if you got issue 1, issue 2 is out now. New Vault number 1, Human Remains. It's Peter Milligan. I'll get anything with his name on. Not much more to be said about that, really. So I've got it. It's in the pile of shame that I need to get through soon. Justice League Last Ride issue 6. Chip Zdarsky, right up there. Maybe not quite Tom Taylor and Lemire level at the moment, just because they're doing more. But he impresses me with almost everything he does, and that's him doing his Justice League stuff still. And finally, wouldn't be me if there wasn't more Tom Taylor in this. Nightwing 85 continues to be one of, if not the best books on the shelves, so check it out. And that was it for the last couple of weeks. That's why it's a bit of a longer video, but I hope you guys enjoyed. For a comprehensive list of absolutely everything, because believe it or not, that wasn't everything, check out Dave's newsletter, and yeah, see you guys next week.
Piranha, white, white, white. Piranha, 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 white, white, white. Piranha, 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 piranha.